error, right, error becomes smaller than 0.5%. So then you can stop at x5. Compare, and you can use this equation to determine when you should stop. And here the number is close enough, and you can stop at x5. So this will be your final result. Okay? So this is, I've already taught this in class, but all you need to do is just do some derivation and calculation, right? Okay, let's get to number 5. Question number 5. This one also very easy, another 送分题. So what we want to do is fx1, x2 equals x1 minus x2. We want this to be minimized, right? To be minimum. And this is so easy. I don't understand why most of you cannot solve this problem. This is so lengthy, so easy. Why? Because I told you already, right? I said to get minimum, what you need to do is have two equations. First equation is partial f, partial x1 equals 0. Second is partial f, partial x2 equals 0. Remember? Right? I showed you this, right? And then remember this, right? This is actually, this also you can say this is f1, right? You want to say this. You say this is f1, this is f2, right? So you have two equations, right? So look at this. This is optimization problem. And when you have this equation, these two equations are actually the same as, remember? It's the same. So this is what we show you here. What we show you here, right? Multivariable problem. And so, interesting thing enough is that some students are correct. They are smart. They simply use this optimization to solve the problem, which is okay, which is correct, as long as you get correct answer, right? As you get correct answer using this equation, you can solve the result. 你用这个也是可以解的，你知道吗？但是这题不需要那么麻烦，因为这题送分题很简单 ，very simple. Why? Because we don't need to use this because this is nonlinear equation. If this is nonlinear equation, and then you, of course, you will use numerical method to solve it because you cannot solve a linear equation, right? 如果这一组跑出来的这个联立方程式是非线性的，好，那你只好用牛顿法去解它，对不对？说不定我期末考一题这样的题目，或是第二次期末考一题这样的题目 ，OK？ But this problem, for this problem, you don't really need to. Why? Because it's simple. It's not nonlinear. It's linear. Why? Because through this equation, let's check. Partial over x1, so this is 1 and this is 0, and plus 4x1, right? And plus 2x2 equals 0. That's the first equation. And then the second equation, regarding minus x2, regarding x2, this is minus 1, and this is 0, right? And then this is, here is plus 2x1, and this one is plus 2x2 equals 0, right? And this set of equation, 这个联立方程式 this set of equation, 国中数学吧，对，来解 x minus 2而已啊，来，那你需要用那个牛顿法吗？不需要。This is not nonlinear, right? So really don't need to use it. But I saw some students did use Newton method and use it correctly using this equation. Now you can solve it. Actually, you get the same answer, okay? You get the same correct result. But it's just don't need to, right? There's no need. So from this set, you can solve x1 equals x2 equals So x1 equals -1, x2 equals 3/2. Right? 这不是送分题是什么 ？Right? And then you plug in fx， 把它带进去，负1减3/2加上2倍的负1的平方，加上2倍的负13/2加上3/2的平方，最后呢等于多少？等于负5/4。OK， that's it。所以我说这里是送分题嘛，第5题是15分，15 points。OK。Okay. The last one is a little bit computational expensive。我就说计算上面有一点花你们的时间的啊，但是2个小时只有6题嘛 ，only 6 problems in 2 hours。And I think most of the students got out in 1 hour， 大部分的1个小时都完全出去了，来。所以其实你说这题要花很多时间计算 ，you need a lot of time for the calculation. That's fine, right? You have 1 hour to do it because you can finish those 5 problems in 1 hour, right? 大部分的同学1个小时跑光了，对不对？不会写还是不做完？不确定啊。Okay. So let's take a look at this one. This one's actually not too difficult either, right? So A, you know, is this. And please find QR, right? Find Q and R, right? And we know A equals QR, right? And find Q by what? By Gram-Smith, right? By Gram-Smith process, right? Remember this? So of course, because A equals A1, A2, A3. Remember? A1, A2, A3. And then we say Q1, remember Q1? Q1 simply is A1 divided by the length, right? 这样出来了 right? 所以 Q1 很简单，因为 A1 的长度是1的平方加1的平方加1的平方加1的平方，那多少？4，对不对？然后开根号是这个长度，对不对？这4开根号多少？2，对不对？所以所有的这个就是0.5，对不对？0.5，0.5。Okay. Q1, very simple. And what about Q2? Remember the equation Q2 equals what? Q2 equals, let's say, A2 minus大家记得吗？公式 A2 equals what? A2 dot Q1, right? And then Q1, remember? 上课有教。但是这个还要再处理它的整个长度，记不记得？好 ，So Q2, this one need to after this is done, need to divide by its total length, right? Remember? 记得吧？对，长度要怎么样？不要忘记它长度。And same thing Q3 equals A3 minus A3 Q1 minus A3 Q2 the total length divided by the length 它自己的长度，它自己的长度。Okay, so even though the calculation is a little bit more difficult, but if you are patient enough, then you will get Q equals Q1, Q2, Q3. Eventually, get this result. Okay, so once we get Q, of course we can use this equation in the problem set that we show you to find R. So R equals A1, Q1, and here A2, Q1, A2, Q2. This one, A3, Q1, A3, Q2, and A3, Q3. Okay, you can use this equation to do this. And I saw some students are clever, they are smart. 有一些同学很聪明的，他说：“老师，我可不可以不要用这个公式？” So maybe I don't really need to use this equation. Why? He actually used this equation here. He's smart enough to use this equation because here you see A equals QR, right? So what we have is R equals what? QT over A, right? Right? And don't forget, you know, this QT is QT, you can just do the rotation or the transpose. Then you will also get a number, a beautiful number. 2.000.